As the Muslim community began to grow, new challenges began to emerge. Many families had already sacrificed everything. Homes were left behind, wealth was abandoned, loved ones had been lost. Among those most affected were the widows, women who had stood beside their husbands through persecution, migration, and hardship. Now, many found themselves alone, with children to raise and little protection in a harsh world. In 7th century Arabia, a widow could easily become forgotten. Without family or tribal protection, her future was uncertain. Marriage could restore security, dignity, and hope. It is here that we begin to understand the Prophet's later marriages, not as acts of personal comfort, but as acts of responsibility and compassion. One of the earliest examples was Sawdah bint Zam'ah. She had embraced Islam during its earliest days. Together with her husband, she migrated to Abyssinia. Far from home, they endured the hardships of exile. Then, her husband passed away. Sawdah returned to Mecca alone, a widow without protection. It was during this period, after the passing of Khadijah, that the Prophet married Sawdah, giving her security, a home, and honor. Another woman was Salamah. She too had endured migration and loss. Her husband, Abu Salamah, had been among the earliest Muslims. After his passing, she was left to care for several young children. When the Prophet proposed marriage, she expressed her concerns. She worried about her children. She worried about her age, and she worried about her own nature. The Prophet reassured her. Her children would be cared for, and her place within the Muslim community would remain secure. Then there was Zaynab, daughter of Khuzaymah, known throughout Arabia as the mother of the poor. Her generosity had become her reputation. After becoming widowed, she too faced hardship. The Prophet married her, honoring a woman whose life had been devoted to helping others. Only a short time later, she passed away. These stories share something in common. Each begins not with celebration, but with sacrifice. Not with luxury, but with loss. History records these women not as symbols of privilege, but as individuals whose dignity was preserved during some of the most difficult moments of their lives. The Prophet's marriages during this period cannot be understood by counting how many there were. They must be understood by asking who these women were, what they had endured, and why these marriages took place. For in every story, we find not indulgence, but responsibility. Not status, but service. Not self-interest, but compassion.